Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video I will be talking about my 1970s Turkish soldier's kit. This video is basically mostly about the basic kit of a Turkish soldier in the 1970s. However, we will also be dealing with the invasion of Cyprus, or the Turkish peace operation of Cyprus, as the main impression goal. By no means this video is about politics or all the, formalities and the current situation. It's just to show you guys what I've been working on, and it's an integral part of Turkish history, even Mediterranean world history pretty much. That's something we should be, be looking into. Obviously this kit has some issues with it, mainly because some parts are really hard to get, some parts are almost impossible to find, and there are things that are, placeholders until actual proper ones can be found. But still, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Without further ado, let's get started.
Bu kadar yürekten çağırma beni. Bir gece ansızın gelebilir. Bu kadar yürekten çağırma beni. Bir gece ansızın gelebilir.
Well, first of all, obviously, the basic blouse, jacket, whatever you shirt, whatever you want to call it. The uniform itself was introduced around 1963 to replace the Turkish battle dress uniform, which was basically designed after the British battle dress. Just like every other NATO member state, Turkey we made our own version of the battle dress. Compared to the British one, it didn't have a buckle. It just had a button on the closure down part place, whatever you want to call it, and the basic color was green instead of khaki, kind of similar to the Dutch patterns. So in order to replace that battle dress uniform, this 1963 model uniform was introduced. It still kind of has some similarities in being that it's a two-piece uniform with supposed to, naval high waist trousers and a short shirt, but generally it's more or less based off of the OD7 US stuff you see in 1960s, especially in Vietnam as well, around those areas probably. Basic NATO stuff pretty much. The interesting thing probably is the headwear, which is actually based off, in a way, the Turkish headwear of the 1940s, in a way that's similar with this is actually a fake ear flap, but originally Turkish hats of that period, 1940s, had similar design structure. That's why this hat kind of resembles that period, and the most unique part of the uniform itself. The uniform is buttoned up together, the trousers and the shirt is buttoned up on the sides with loops here, so that your trousers don't actually go down in case you're crouching or doing whatever. You also use a pistol belt to hold your trousers up. Sometimes you have been issued regular belts, but most popularly you see actual pistol belts being used. This is an actual original Turkish example. It's based off of the American 1910, 1928 pistol belts, or 1954, 54, 44, 51, whatever you want to call it. It's just a pistol belt. It has exactly the same closure types. The jacket, the shirt itself has two pockets, as you can see here. They don't hold much, probably just for like identity papers and some pens and pencils. There were some modifications done to these shirts, especially in summertime, wintertime. There are different models, such as a wool version that was issued to the northeast regions, especially in Erzurum. Those were seen. Some models had their arm sleeves cut short to use in hotter climates, especially in the southeast. And during the invasion of Cyprus, similar uniforms were also seen, but this pattern was also seen as well. Another thing with button closures, some of these uniforms do have button closures on their cuffs, some do not, some just have straight ones, and most of them are pretty much the same, with all kinds of, sometimes personal modifications being done. I've even seen a model with a side side pocket to put pencils on for officers. Going down, obviously the trousers have reinforcements on their knee pads. Sadly, the trousers I have are kind of short. Finding the right size for me, who's 6 feet tall, is kind of hard to do, because the ordinary Turkish soldier in the 1970s and even before are usually, in general, below 6 feet. The boots, the combat boots, as I don't know if you can see it, you probably get a better angle right now, are high, long boots. These are actually 2000s made ones. Sadly, the period ones would have been pretty much quite similar, black leather boots, but obviously it's hard to find the originals, because even finding the correct Aegean pattern camouflage suits is incredible hard to find. So think about it. These are 2013 made examples, and they're quite nice. Obviously, they're comfortable. They have been well used, so no need to be breaking in them. They're already soft leather, pretty much. So that's nice, I guess. Well, that pretty much completes the basic uniform. On to the combat webbing now. Well, as you can probably tell, this is pretty much the basic combat kit here saying. Obviously, let's get started. I just have a Thompson here as a placeholder. Originally, I should have been issued a G3, but sometimes you see photographs of soldiers still having Thompsons, even though they have G3 magazine pouches. It's something that's strange. I think they're like stage photographs, or just like, you know, soldiers goofing around with different guns, but still. Originally, I should have been issued a G3 because of the pouches, but I'm planning on getting Thompson pouches anyways, so that's not a big deal. And a G3 perhaps one day. So basically, the kit, as you can see, is kind of similar to most NATO, Americanized kit you see. Obviously, it has actual American surplus items such as the M44 suspenders and the 1956 canteen and canteen cover. But most of the other parts are actually Turkish made, such as, obviously, didn't count the pistol belt, which is an American replica. Sadly, I'm planning on getting an original, but the pouches, completely Turkish design. They're for G3 magazines, but you know, as I said, with 20 round magazines for the Thompson, you might be able to squish them in there, but you know, you might not able to close it actually, but still, that's worth a shot, I guess. Then again, the thread bag here, which is obviously, you know, a pretty German Turkish thing that you see most of the stuff. Even in the 1970s, we still had similar patterns to the World War I style ones issued to the Ottoman troops, and later during the 1940s, you still see those during the invasion of Cyprus. The most famous thing about the kit is obviously going to be the Aegean spot camouflage, or the Ege camouflage helmet cover, which is actually made from a shelter half / poncho that my friend generously gave it to me, say, hey, let's make helmet covers out of it. So I made one for my Turkish M1 helmet. Alongside the M1 helmet, obviously British Brodie helmets were also issued and used, and similar helmet covers were also given or made out of ponchos. Obviously, there are many different patterns of the Aegean spot camo, because obviously with, you know, printing technology, printing style, machinery, and, you know, usage of different dyes, you get different colors, different patterns, different sizes of patterns. And, you know, even with the fabric, sometimes you get issues with, you know, printing, and you have like strange colors and strange shapes being printed, misprinted on. So honestly, this is like one of the rare type of camouflages you see. But for Cyprus, there are also other types that were issued, and we're planning on making those. So that's something to keep on mind of. Sadly, I don't have the green chin strap that this thing should have. I sadly have World War II style chin straps on it, but that's something that's going to be probably changed in the near future. So, aside from everything you see here, usually you would have, you know, different things such as still soldiers still being issued the grease gun, M3 grease guns, the M1 Garands, and you know, for those you have different types of pouches and stand guns and different kits that you can get. But the basic look for the 1970s invasion of Cyprus, Turkish peace operation kits, this is what you're looking at pretty much. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope to see you guys in the next one. Cheers.